Hello everybody and welcome to this bottle sketching exercise in which I'm going to show you how we can create such a beautiful sketching study with the Concepts app on an iPad. In this process tutorial, I will run you through everything from, for example, setting up the document and the drawing tools, then how we can find all these different bottles, bring them over. You can see, for example, here that in the first line, I have various soda bottles from different countries, Sunkiss and Fanta, USA, Africola, Germany, and also Tritop, and the really fun one, the other one, the Ramune, which I'm butchering the pronunciation, for example, from Japan. And then also other bottles of uh, like mineral water or just canteens. Bring them in, structuring them. You see, there are titles for the inspiration, the fitness water bottle, and such. And then I will also really stress on how we can very quickly create these really nice ideation quick sketches so we don't forget ideas. And then in the end, we will select the best ideas and create more refined drawings. So we can actually then use that. For example, go to a CAD application or a render application and then create visual, more realistic renderings of those. And with all that said, let me show you how to do it. But before we get started, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification button so you will never miss any upcoming video. And now let's really get started. Okay, let's get started. As you can see on my side, I'm inside the iCloud folder. Then I'm inside the Shaper 3D folder, and there I have a folder called Bottle Designs. So I have all these individual 5 designs here. By the way, you can create a new folder just by clicking on the plus, and then you select new folder, and you can also specify, do you want to be in the iCloud or, for example, on your iPad. Very good. So this way you can then structure and organize all your files into projects, etc. And there you see I have this water bottle study, which I showed at the beginning. So we would like to create a new drawing. Let's click on the plus icon, new drawing, and then this is what I see because this is my previous template. Let's configure everything. Upper right corner, we can click on that gear icon. Then plain white is perfect. Grid type is good. Artboard size, we are in the US, so we can select 8.5 by 11. I work with that primarily because that's a sheet of paper I can easily go and find a printer to print something out. 11 by 17 is bigger. It's a little bit harder to find. Also bigger sheet of paper. And then when we go down to the display units, you can decide, do you want to go with digital, metric, or imperial? And that actually also has an influence when we go back to the grid type. For example, we have the dot grid and we click edit grid. There you see the spacing is 10 millimeters, and this is based on the the unit system we are using. Okay, very good. I just go with 5 millimeters. The rest rather is not really very important because we're just creating quick sketches. Okay. We have the layers. The first thing what we want to do is with your finger, I read automatic. I tap on it. Now this is manual. Then I can tap on pen, tap on the A and say images or references. Make a new layer, tap on the name, tap on the A and say sketches. So I'm creating all my layers. Perfect. This is a very common way how I work. Now, I try to sort everything nicely. On the left side, I have the toolbar as a vertical line. And you see I have as the first tool, double tap on it. It's just a pen. It has 2 millimeters of a material thickness, or stroke thickness, I should say. I'm not in CAD. 100%, a little bit of smoothing. Then I have the same pen, but 100% smoothing. Under it, I have a marker stroke with a nice blue cyan color. So I just tapped on that color field, and where's actually the blue I selected? Here, let's select that one. I click on this one more time. You see now this is selected. Perfect. Cool. Okay. The other tools are not necessary, but for example, a text tool is really useful because when we write the labels for these different areas we're creating. Under the precision, we can show the grid. That's actually quite useful. Snap and measure and all the stuff is turned off. So essentially, the precision I can close, or upper left corner, you see this dial pad. I can tap on it. So I just tap there, by the way, since you unfortunately cannot see where I tap, and then it's gone. Beautiful. Okay, so before we start sketching, it's really good to take a look at different products to kind of like learn about them, study them, get inspiration from them. So on an iPad, I will just go to a web browser and I typed in Pepsi Coke bottle. That's actually a really nice bottle. This bottle now, finger on it and hold. I will say open in a new image tab. There we are. Then I will make a screenshot and then I will make this screenshot smaller. So if you work on a PC, then now you simply use the screenshot tool in a web browser to make a screenshot of a piece and then copy it into the clipboard, which I'm going to do here now and say copy and delete. You could also, if you want, permanently save it to your photo library. I will do this actually one time and then make a screenshot again so I could show you both ways how you could just on an iPad copy these images. And now I select copy and delete. Cool. Then I will go back to concepts. I will select the images layer. Then you see upper right corner, there are these two arrows. One goes up, one goes down. The one that goes up is export, and the one goes down is import. And paste from clipboard. Yes, thank you. There it is. At the bottom, you see rotate and sketch. In my case, rotate is off. If I tap it, it's on. We don't want that. We want it to be rotate off. Sketch scale is fine. So we can go to the selection tool, tap on the lasso to have item picker, and then we can just scale this one down. Pretty cool. We could also go to import from photos. And there it is. You see? Super easy. Cool. I will delete this one. So that is the way how I brought in, for example, all these different bottles. And by selecting an object and then having the rotate off, but only stretch on, then you can just create all these different versions and align them next to each other. So let's bring in one more bottle. Let's say Fanta bottle. And let's see which one is cool. This is actually interesting because it has this really organic look. Yeah, I'll just make a screenshot of this. Perfect. There. Bring this over and down. And then copy and delete. Go back to concepts. Paste this in. Allow. Cool. In case you brought the image in onto a different layer, because the layer that's selected, that's where the image is being brought to. Let me show you how we can move objects around. You see the sketch layer is selected. If I now select the bottle and move this to image layer, I move this then to the image layer. And then 2 fingers pinch. We are going to scale this one. Sweet. There we are. Then I can go to the selection tool, lasso, draw a selection. I can move these things around. Pretty cool. And let's go to annotation. Then with this marker tool, I'm going to draw from the left to the right like a marker stroke. Based on the pen pressure, you can change the fading a little bit. And then when you move the pen, you can adjust also the orientation. There we are. That's a little bit rotated. So one more time. There we are. If you ask yourself, how do you draw a marker that is this way or that way? The key is how you're holding the marker pencil. This way, the marker pencil was oriented this way. And in this case, the marker pencil was this way. And then each time I moved them to the right side. 2 fingers on the screen to undo everything. Perfect. Then I can go to text with the pencil tab somewhere and say inspiration. Very nice. Move this to here. We can keep the text black. That's fine. With the selection tool, I will select my my marker, and then with a finger or the pencil, we can scale this one by simply going onto one of these corners you saw there, and then no, just move them. Cool. Okay, beautiful. Nope, I only want to select this. Oh, why is this actually not selecting both? 1 second. They're all on the same layer. I might have to draw this bigger there. So I bring this to here, and then I see, okay, you see this horizontal and vertical lines? They're really useful to quickly do an alignment. And everything in concepts is about quick sketching. This is not Illustrator where we work super precise. Cool, okay. I will select this, make a copy. Copy is the second icon from the left side. Now it's clipboard, copy, group, lock, delete, mirror left, right, mirror up, down. And then I bring, let's say, this one over. And then with the item picker, I select inspiration. Here I say ideation or quick sketching. Go back to lasso, make a copy, bring this over. Let's say to here. I don't know yet. Switch the lasso to the selection tool. Tap on the A symbol so you can edit the text. And here we could say final. You could also say initial sketches, final sketches. Now this is really up to you how you want to name those, but they have to be clear. Okay, beautiful. So now if we take a look at these 2 bottles we have, let's do some quick sketches. Okay, so I can go ahead and go to the side. Don't trace over it. That's not really the deal. And the way how we sketch should really be fast. Don't spend too much time. And you see how I'm I'm putting a lot of lines down. Now, there, very good. There, this goes over. I also only do the left side. I will go to selection tool, select this, copy and mirror, bring this over. Select all this, copy, mirror, bring this over. And then I can go back to this tool and say, oh, there's a line, there's a line, and there's a line. And I click, 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 click. I just draw something in. The really cool thing about Concept is we can edit everything. Maybe this goes to here with this uh, slice tool. I can remove parts, clean this up a little bit. And like in Illustrator, I can also move things around, rotate them if rotation is turned on, and then scale them. It's all done with 2 fingers, squeezing, pinching. It's pretty cool. It's very intuitive. So you go to there, make a copy, you go to there. That means you go to there. That means this one goes to there. This one can go. This one here is too short. This is too long. Duplicate there, bonk. You see, we're doing this actually very, very fast. That's the whole idea. You don't want to draw things too slowly because then you start complicating everything too much. Cool. Okay. Now, so whoop. Select everything. Bring this over. Let's go back. Now we try to trace the other bottle. So zack, zack, zack. There we are. And you see here this smoothing. That's actually super useful. Without, you can draw very detailed, I would say. And then with a little bit of smoothing, your lines become much softer. With a lot of smoothing, you see they start to feel like they're very stiff. And with 100%, well, we just draw lines. So maybe 15% will be good. And then we can think about it. Okay, so here you go down, there's an arc, there's another arc there, and then here this goes down, and maybe at the bottom this goes in. Doop, 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 doop. There's the bottom there, flop. You see how I quickly found the center line, delete all this stuff, select all this, copy, move over there. And then if we want, yeah, we can clean things up a little bit. If it's too wonky, then let's do this there. Let's make a nice cap. Cap should be a tick wider. Okay, very good. Maybe remove this and then bring this over. By the way, when you select everything, we can also group all these lines. So it's perfect. And I made a mistake. I drew everything in the annotation line. So this goes into sketch and this goes into sketch. So it's always easy to select all my objects. Cool. And now take a look at this. This is actually where this really starts becoming really fun. I have this bottle. Select the bottle, make a copy, then I ungroup it. I will select one side and just make it wider. Okay, the other side I select and delete. This one here, maybe I bring over. Then I select everything besides the center, copy, mirror over, bring it to there. See, look at that, how quickly it is to create variations. Maybe I select all this one more time. No, actually here, just this. Okay, one more time, come on. say maybe to there. So I'm changing that flow a little bit. Tapping on the screen, and then with the slice tool, I clean this up a little bit. Beautiful. Very quickly, we're going to fill up the space, so it will make sense to scale everything. I have at the bottom select all or select active. I will select everything, rotate off, scale everything down. Very good. And then you go to there, you go to there. Yeah, and then I can continue playing this game. So maybe you go to there. This was nice. I bring this over, but maybe the whole orientation isn't as good. So I ungroup this so I can select these lines, bring them to there. I delete all this. I will bring this higher up and maybe just rethink this one more time. A little bit more cleaner. And then zuck, 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 zuck. Yeah, maybe, no? Needs to be a little bit more refined. This corner here is terrible. Turn, rotate on. There. Maybe I want that to go to there. So you can go to there and there. Now there you see how this looks now different. Cool. Okay, beautiful. So at one point now you have this area filled up with all these different sketches and ideations. You can see how quickly it is to also build these individual like studies, copy and paste. Let's make a nice vertical line. We could go to our tool that is 100% straight, and I can use the grid, start in there, so I understand where would be a vertical line. Alternatively, I could also turn on precision, show the grid, and turn snap on, and then now this actually allows me to draw perfectly straight, horizontal or vertical. Two fingers undo. Let's turn this back off. Oh, I would like to see the grid. There we are. And zip. There, perfect. So at one point, you also then want to start drawing things a little bit more refined. This is then where we can really start drawing more precisely. So I'm just making a nice water bottle here. Right now, I'm planning everything out. I'm using the grid a little bit more there. You can see how this line is really shaky, no? So I will go more to this. And not too slow, not too fast. You need to find the right speed. Maybe this looks good. Yeah, that is nice. And then this goes down. And here is the bottom. Drawing over this, maybe like this. Beautiful. Then I can select these lines, copy, paste, mirror over. There we are. Nope, this is like version 1. I can bring this over. Let's say these lines are a little bit angled. So this is again then where, for example, the straight line tool can be super useful like this. There. And maybe I want to bring this a little bit further up. We can change, by the way, the smoothing of everything. There. Ah, look at that. Bring this up. Sweet. delete, select, copy, mirror over. Cool. Yeah, there's version 1. We do have here maybe a cap. Maybe the cap is there. And that's a nice version. Let's make another one. I would like to have somewhere a nice opening. So I could go back to my drawing tool and say, here's an opening. This looks good. Their line goes down. Very good. Copy, bring this over. Copy, mirror, bring this down. Select this, and then we can just play around. No? Where do we want that to be? Let's say somewhere there. Beautiful. Okay, so this is just a very quick introduction how you can use the different layers and drawing tools in concepts to then bring in reference images, sketch very quickly, then sketch more cleanly. So the big difference is lots of lines. Also, the pen tool has kind of like no smoothing, then less lines. The pen has more smoothing, so we work slower. Here we work faster. We use copy and paste to make variations. And if I go back to the original document here, now there you can see how I found all these different water bottles at the bottom, sorry, at the top, all these different soda bottles from all across the world, from Germany to Asia, some other glass bottles, and then metal bottles. And then I created this quick ideation of different shapes. And no, why not rectangular? There's a product like this on the market too. And then, as you can see here, I created then the more refined cleanup. So the key of such a sketch page is, as you see, you need to have a sufficient amount of drawings. There also needs to be an order to it. So images should not be all crazy rotated, different scales. You want them all to be in a similar way, cleaned up. You can see there are irregularities, so they're not all always horizontally perfectly the same. This whole area is the ideation part, but there's still a structure to it. And then on the left side, there you can see now everything is 4 rows, 4 columns on a nice grid, so it's easy to reference and actually read. Okay, give this a try.